Hello, I'm Chris, this is Gross Models, and this is, finally, the launch of Marvel's Iron Man, the 100-part artwork from Fanhome, which seems to be a new subsidiary of DeAgostini, where they're doing their online stuff. So, I've received my first issue, or my first 2 issues. So we'll have a look through, as well as, obviously, the parts and the magazine and the pre-magazine magazine. We've got other things. The first thing, the Fanhome leaflet, which obviously just says, "Dear modeler, welcome to Fanhome. We're glad you've joined us and are sure you will love building this completely addictive journey into build-up modelling." Build-up modelling is a different way of, it's partworks, but they call it build-up modelling now, which is different, but it works, yeah. In every package, you will receive parts of the model and magazines with easy-to-follow assembly guides. The magazines also include amazing articles, interesting facts, and plenty of hints and tips. Everything, of course, officially licensed. As they say, sharing is caring. We'd love to find out how you get on with your journey. Use the hashtag Fanhome when publishing images to social media so we can see your very own Ironman Mark III armour model is coming along. Enjoy the journey, Fanhome team. So, yes, remind me at the end. I'll try and remember to put hashtag Fanhome on my YouTube videos so they can keep in touch and offer me free stuff. They're not going to offer me free stuff. So yes, introductory letter, obviously. The premium offer. I have gone for the premium offer. This is a little bit different. DeAgostini always used to do free postage. These charge £1, I assume one of your local currency, per issue. So basically they're charging £4 delivery each month. But judging by the package that came today, it's quite a nice substantial box. It wasn't, it's very not easy to break box. And everything was packed on nicely inside. So if they're going to continue doing that, that's okay. But because they're already charging me that, I figured I might as well get the most out of them. So I'm also getting the display base, which has got a light up base, and it just sets it off a little bit nicer. So I shall be doing that. I think you get this later on in 3 or 4 different sections throughout the build as it goes by. So yeah, that looks like it could be quite interesting. It's got a nice, it lights up a thing, and it's got obviously a post to support him. Although I think he's going to support himself, or might not standing up, but might in the traditional, superhero landing pose. But that's that. Right, also, obviously, first of all, what's a poster? I shall be putting the poster up behind me. You'll see it on new live streams. This is Iron Man's arc reactor, repulsor, and eyes light up. I think obviously the eyes, the chest, the hands, and I think the bottom of the feet light up as well. All independently powered. So yes, it's a limited edition. Everything's a limited edition. There's nothing unlimited. There's always going to be a certain number of them. 60 centimeters height. So basically, it's 2 foot tall instead of 6 foot tall. So it's a 3rd scale. Not quite as nice as if it was half scale, but it is much more. I don't know about more articulated than the Terminator build, but it's got a nicer finish to it, obviously being finished rather than being just a skeleton. So I'm not overly unhappy about the size. I think it would be an awful lot more if it was going to be bigger. Right, for subscribing, you can receive these incredible collector's items. Quite interested in the t-shirt, because I like a nice t-shirt. The power bank, yeah, I got a power bank from the X-Wing that I've never used, but it's there if you need it, and it's charged up and sitting waiting. Posters, always good. Cap, always very good. And a backpack, that's an interesting thing. I don't normally see backpacks as being a collector's thing. Hats, yeah, t-shirts, yeah. But backpack is quite interesting. So we have down here the secret story of an incredible hero. I like Iron Man. I like the build. I like the series. The films. But I haven't read the backstories, comics, and things. So it's going to be interesting to me to get some bit. I might actually read the words on that. I'm not going to sit there and read them all out to you. Don't worry about that. But I might actually read the magazines on this build. And then we have the poster. Yeah, it's obviously big. He's in the traditional superhero landing. That's quite nice. I like that. That will be going up on the wall. I'll put that in place of the Mortal Realms one, I think. That will go out of the way. Right, now, we're already 5 minutes into the video and I've not done anything yet. The magazine itself, we'll have a look through, and then when we get to the build part, we'll do the build part. We have, let's say in this issue, it looks like there's 3 sections to it. There's at the cinema, the build, and then in the comics. It's annoying. They put the build in the middle, so yeah. Alright, at the cinema, the origin of the hero, Iron Man 1. Lots of nice, good quality pictures. The paper is quite nice. It's all got lots of writing and details and stuff in it, so yeah. I shall go back and read some of this. Mark III armour, there we go. Yeah, because the Mark 1 armour was this one, the one he built there. And it says, after surviving a scare during the first test flight with the Mark II armour, he updates the armour to prevent it from icing up at high altitudes. That's the Mark III. So it's from the first film, but it's like the one that uses throughout most of the first film, the one that works. Right, then we have the step-by-step build. I'll skip over that and come back to that. I'll do my picture-in-picture. I'll figure out how I'm going to do that, because the stages are a bit... Oh no, they are sort of stages. I'll figure out how to get a picture-in-picture up of this as I do the build. And obviously today we are doing the helmet, so you can look at it now and then get an overview of what we're doing, and then I'll continue on and do the actual building. Then we have in the comics. Oh right, so the first section is the films, then the build, then the comics. That works, yep. So we've got building, putting on the armour. Obviously a bit different in the comics. He didn't have the chest reactor thing, but in the mid-80s, Iron Man Collection Bennett's countdown to issue 200. I don't know when it started. I'd have thought it would have started at the beginning. But yeah, there we go. So yeah, I shall have a look through that. Quite interesting. Then on the back we have the epic issue, Iron Man Volume 1, number 200. November 85. Don't know if that's the first Iron Man. Can't be Iron Man if it's number 200. I don't know. Anyway, and then it tells us about the next issue. We're assembling his left foot, and we've got A Hero is Born, the creation of Iron Man. I do have issue 2, so when this one's finished, hopefully the day after, I shall be releasing issue 2 as well. So yeah, that's that. Now, in this build, they've supplied me with batteries. I don't know Pissicle. I don't know who they are there. I mean, lithium batteries are always pretty good quality, so they should be okay. But they've actually supplied 4 of these. Now, I figure that we need one for this and one for that one. I'm just assuming that they send them out occasionally rather than all at once. And part 1, the build. Obviously, you get loads of stuff in this. Because they want to get you in and get you building. They do lots of everything to begin with. So I shall stop filming. I'll get the bits out and then we'll go through it and I'll figure out how to do the picture-in-picture. Right, the parts. Let's have a look. Oh, that's very nice. This is a solid cast metal. Nice paint on it. It looks lovely. I can't see any reason to repaint that as yet. Possibly some weathering, but I don't know. I think this might be just a nice shiny. It's very shiny, as you can see. Look, you can see all my lights reflected. Yeah, that's very nice. I'm very happy with that. What we've got at the front here. This is also again metal with magnet. That's going to fit on there like that. Just dropping it in place, it looks right. The colours match up. I'm happy with that. It's a little small. I would have been happy for it to be a little bit bigger, but it's fine. Again, more metal. It's very nice. I'm happy with all of this so far. This is plastic, but that's okay. There's going to be plastic involved. I'm not going to get everything out as is. I'm going to leave it in the tray for now. The screwdriver is actually not too bad. That's, again, a metal framed screwdriver, probably magnetic. I can't tell on this. I can't tell yet. That's a magnet. That doesn't help. But it looks magnetic at the end. We'll find out in a minute. It has the non-turny bit at the end so you can support it and turn. I do have a better screwdriver pack, but I shall start with this and see how it goes. Going onwards, we'll see what I'm going to use to build. Right, looking at the instructions, where shall I put? I'll put them up there, I think. That'll probably. I'll put them over there. Wherever the instructions may be, they won't be down the bottom here. They'll be in the top corner somewhere. I'll probably put them up here over the top of the pile of stuff because you don't need to see that. Right, it says to position the support post. Is that the support post? It does say over there, yes. It says support post. I can't get it out of the packet. There we go. Actually, I'm going to get everything out and then get that out of the way. That'll be the easiest way of doing things, I think. Let's get all the parts out. Bags of screws. I shall come to the bags of screws momentarily. See how they're doing that. It's sort of unfair to judge the build by the first issue. That's empty, so I can get rid of that. The first issues are always nice. Better than any subsequent issue, just because they make it first. They want, everything to be as good as it can possibly get. So the packaging is lovely. It all comes on that card with the backing. Subsequent parts will probably just come in bags, but that's fine. That's okay. Right, let's have a look. The screws. We have individual resealable bags. Very nice. With labels. AP, EP, EM, and BP labelled on these bags. I do love that they are resealable bags. That's impressive. I wonder how long that will continue on. We've got the clear and diffused visor parts, support post, which is again metal. Some other plastic bits for I think the switch and the electronics with 2 LEDs. They're actually lighting it up nicely with 2. And a little switch in there. That's obviously how we're going to be turning it on and off. And obviously that's where the battery goes. Don't know if it's just one battery. It's got, looks like more room than you'd need for one battery. So we'll find out. Let's have a look. It says position the support post inside. I can't quite make out. The picture's not the best. Let me have a... I know you can see it up there, but I can't really see it that well. 1H, 1C, EM. Alright, so it's telling you exactly what screws you need. So let me get the EM screws. What I shall do is get a few of those out and leave the packet next to them, so I know which is which, and when I've finished I shall make sure I put them back in the packet and keep them in a storage device. Right, that looks like that's going in there like that. That's the only way it will fit. It doesn't come out very well on the picture, but it's going to go like that. So let's see. It would appear that the screwdriver is not in fact magnetic. So that's one point against it, because magnetic would certainly be more helpful for getting into things. So I may well have to break out my better screwdriver for this. But we'll see. Let's try the build as it comes, rather than having to do extra things with it. And we'll see if that works. So I've got that in there with one screw. Now if you've seen any of my other builds, you'll be aware that I'm a big fan of not doing up the first screw yet. Always make sure you get all the screws in and lined up properly before you tighten up the first one. Because while you've got that little bit of wiggle room in there, you can get it lined up properly and make sure it is lined up properly before you go back in and tighten them both up. So let's get them tightened up there. Yeah, so that's in place. That's obviously going to be supporting the entire head together. That's okay. Right. Then it says the LED assembly comprises the battery case, 2 LEDs for the visor, and part of the switch. Place the assembly with the hole in the battery case facing outwards and fix it in place with an EM screw. So we've got the EM screw ready again. It's going in to cover that hole there. Obviously that's going to go there, that's going to go there. Let's get the wires not pinned underneath it. Let's get the screw through the hole first. So what we got? AP, EP, BP, and EM. I would assume that M is for going into metal. It certainly is so far. So that's going to go across there, facing outwards, and tricky to get lined up because the wires are not catching. So let's forget about that screw having fallen off. Get that lined up in there first. And then, yeah, I'm going to break out my better screwdriver because the magnetic bits are going to be much more helpful. I don't know why it's not magnetized. I may just be able to magnetize that one, so we'll work onwards from there. But I have a better screwdriver which is magnetic, which will make things much easier going forwards. I'll put a link to my video where I've sort of done a review of my screwdriver, if you like, so you can have a look. The only trouble is the colours don't match. It's not matching up with the Ironman theme, but you know, right. So there we go. There you can get to the battery from the outside without having to take it all apart. Right. Stage 2. Fitting the LEDs. Fit the visor base, which is the clear one, into the main body. It has 2 tabs which will fit in place with gentle pressure. So obviously we've got the shaping, it's got to be that way around. These tabs are going to go behind there. So we put one side under and then just clip that behind like that. Okay, I'm happy with that. That works fine. The battery case can be seen at the top of the helmet. It's important the battery cover fits in place properly. Test part 1F before putting it on. I have to refer back to, I think it's going to be that bit. Yes, 1F, the battery cover is that. So make sure that fits on there first. Yep, that goes in place over there and obviously will be screwed in place. And that's the magnet that the base plate will fit onto. Like that. So yes, that fits, but I'm not fitting it yet anyway. Okay, that's that there. Now, place the LEDs in the holes of the LED support 1E. That'll be this bit. As shown. Okay, so we've got to get that the right way round. Then the LEDs go through there. Let's have a look. Doesn't matter about left and right because they're both obviously the same length. So they're going into there. That's a nice tight fit, not a problem. I'm happy enough with that. That's good. I like that. Then we put it in place with 2 more EM screws, which are going to be easier now with a magnetic screwdriver. That will sit there. These are going to be on there. So the screws are going to go through these 2 holes. Get the switch out of the way. Quite decent longer wires. It's got to be the other way up. There we go, that goes in there, and that also has a little tongue piece that holds that in place as well. So that'll go there. If I hold that in place with that, then I can get down in there with the screw. Again, get one in so it bites but doesn't actually tighten up. Then you get the other one in place there as well. Magic screwdriver, look, I can make it longer so it stay more out of camera shot. That goes in there. Now I can tighten that down because that's in the right place. And then tighten down the first one again. The LEDs should point towards the visor base. Yeah, obviously you've got to get them pointing the right way. If they point the other way, then that wouldn't work so well. There we go, that's that. Don't need that wrapped around there. So the 2 LEDs down there, which are pointing towards the eye holes. So far so good, I'm liking it. The first parts often always generally have more to do, and obviously being the helmet, that's the more iconic bit. So yeah, right. We need AP screws for this, because it's going into plastic. Place the helmet support. One in, which is that bit. is going onto there. All right, we've got 3 equidistant screw holes there, so that doesn't matter where that goes. Goes on there. We're going to need 3 of these AP screws. I've only got 1 out, but you know. Yeah, so these are going through plastic into plastic. Let's get 2 more of those out. Now there's 1 of these left in the bag, which is interesting because on a lot of these model builds they provide you with exactly 1 more screw of every type that you need most of the time. If it's a single unique screw that you need for something, then they might only give you 1. But with these sort of things where you've got, you know, a big batch of them to do, they might give you, even you need 10, they give you 11 sort of thing. So there we go. The support will connect to the helmet to the neck and should be secured firmly. That's interesting. I don't know how that's going to attach then. If that's not got any bits that grab or grip, that's probably the outside. So it's going to be a sort of ball socket joint in there. Yeah, that's a concave hole in there. So that's going to be a post that fits tightly onto and gives you all the movement in all the directions that you need. Right, that's that. We need some more EM screws. 3 of those. 2 of those. 2 of those. I'll put that 1 back. So we're putting this onto this. That sort of neck piece, maybe. Right, let's try and get it the right way around so we know what we're doing. And yeah, we've got the 2 places for the screws to go. And that's fitting over there nicely. Lots of bits lining up. It's a nice positive fit. So yeah, so far I'm very impressed. It looks nice. It all fits together nice. Although saying that, first issue, or first 2 or 3, 4, 5 issues even, you can't always guarantee how it's going to be going onwards. But DeAgostini, I won't say they've never done me wrong, but they've always done very well. I've been quite happy with how all of their part works have been done. So this is, let's say, technically Fanhome, but they're basically the same people. Right, then we're fitting the switch onto the right earpiece. So this is what we need here. And that's obviously the other side. So yes, the little bit there is going onto there. Right, again, not terribly clear on there, but clear enough. Does it bayonet? It's got a flat side. Yes, there is a flat side to that, and obviously a flat on the inside of that circle there. So it will only go on in one place. What screw are we going to be using for that? A BP. These are, again, for plastic, because it is plastic. These are slightly countersunk. So they're not a big, proud top of screws sitting out there. So I get that. I know it's located in the right place because it can't go anywhere else, but it always pays to check. Especially when you're doing a kit that's going to end up being, let's say, a fair bit of money at the end of the couple of years that it's going to take to build it. But yeah, right, that's that. That then goes onto here. It does. No, I'll put that on upside down. Yes, because that's the bottom, not the top. Right, pay attention. Take that back off of there. Take that off there. Take that back out of there. Because it's like that. Because this is where the switch assembly is going to all fit together onto it on the inside. So that will fit on there like that. It's better. My mental image of how this was fitting together was had the neck piece up the other way. Not that you can really tell much about it, but yeah, that obviously gets narrower down to the build up to the back of the head. obviously. It's obviously now. Now I think about it, it's obvious. But obviously it wasn't that obvious before. There we go. So that's now that on there. So this goes onto there. So we've got the little prong sitting on there, which will switch and interact with that little switch piece that we've got. So that goes on there. It doesn't actually screw in place because it needs to rotate. I'm going to need another BP screw, which leaves one, so I shall put that over there. And on this one, we're attaching. Right, so this is all going to go together like that. There's a screw hole there that's going to go over there. That's going to have to go that way round. I'm trying to get this untwiddled a bit. Right, let's have a look. It's got a close-up picture there, which does help. Showing you where that's going to go and how that's going to point. So that bit's got to be, the black has got to be what's interacted by that. So it's got to go that way round. Like that. So the screw's going to go through from this side. There's a pin on the other half of this. So the pin's going to go into one hole and the screw is going to go into the other. Actually, I'm going to take that out so I can just get in to get it all lined up properly. Actually, yeah, I think I'm going to take that off as well, because that should make putting this together in there a little bit easier. Strange, the length of wires is that right. I'm going to unstick. Some of these wires are sort of coated together, so I'm going to unpeel that from there, because they don't need to be stuck together for that length, and that will give us much more of this to play around with. There we go, without putting strain on everything else, so that's nicer. Helpful hint if you're doing this, give yourself enough room to play around with. So that's going to go on there. I don't know the screws come out, but the pin's going to go into that section like that, and then the screw, if I can put that in place and actually hold it in place like that, sort of. Okay, I have to do it left-handed then. Then the screw will go into that bit there. Let's get that in a little bit so it holds in place. Make sure everything lines up. Make sure that does still fit in and around there. That's okay. Then we can get this tightened down. Making sure that everything is where it should be. I think that other pin is not quite. There we go. The pin wasn't in the hole quite properly. So when that's turned, that doesn't actually do that. That's not quite right. I'll have to get my visor on and have a closer look and see what I can see. No, that is, it looks like that's in the right place, but for some reason it's just not quite in. Let's unscrew it and screw it back in again. I might have had the screw a little bit cross-threaded. That feels more positive. So that's now gone in there. And yeah, that definitely makes the contact and breaks the contact. Yeah, that should be okay, I think. Get rid of that for now. So that was that. Yeah, that's all that. Next up, putting the bits together. 3 EM screws, which are these ones, because it's metal. So that's going in there, just making sure none of the wires get caught up with anything else. Oh, that's quite nice. So this is the on-off switch. Why is that so loose now? That doesn't feel right. Although maybe it is. Don't know. I think that's okay. That's got a little... We'll figure it out. We'll get the battery in. Actually, I'm gonna, before I put that all together, I'm gonna get the battery in, and we'll see. It doesn't actually show anything about fitting the battery, which is interesting. But yeah, I'm gonna fit the battery, and then we'll have a look. Now, it doesn't say which way round the battery needs to go. Obviously, batteries have a positive and a negative terminal. It's also not a good idea to touch them with your fingers if you can help it, because you can cause acids from your skin. We'll get into it. But also, you don't really want to use a metal pair of tweezers, because they will also short it out. So I thought I had plastic tweezers, but I can't see them at the moment. So I shall make do with other plastic tools. Now, looking at this, the spring bit is primarily going to be the negative contact. The positive contact normally on these. So let's see. If you do touch them, it's not the end of the world, but it's nicer not to, especially where it's going to make contact with things. So that goes in there like that. If I then turn that earpiece, there we go. So yes, the bulb does light up, as you can see. So I'm happy with that. That does feel like that goes to where it should be. It turns it on and off. So I'm going to continue on and put these screws in place to hold that together. Once again, just getting one in, making sure it lines up, getting the other one in, and then get the third one in, and before I tighten them all up, I'll check to make sure everything lines up on the outside. Like that doesn't, see? There we go. That will tighten up when it tightens up. So that should be getting there. Well, that is not tightening into something. That's not right. Okay. Not sure about that. Maybe that's not lined up quite right with... That's going to be the post that it's going to be lined up with. This is why you need to make sure things line up properly. Let's take these screws back out. And check everything out. That's only two screws. Where's our third one? Stuck to the screwdriver. Okay. So let's play around again. That's where it needs to go. Oh, that's got a little dimple there that obviously leads to locating at the right place there. Now, it looks like that's lining up to the right place, but you can't quite see through the screw hole there. Is that at an angle? That needs to go not like that. It needs to go straight downwards. So let's try that again. I think I might have had it not quite far enough in and going in at the wrong angle. Helpful hint, if you try doing a screw backwards, you'll probably feel it locate into place as the thread sort of matches up to the first bit of thread. Although I'm not feeling that. I'm feeling something, but it's not feeling quite right. So I'm going to try and get some more light on this and get closer and see exactly where that's... I can see where it's going. It's off to the right a little bit. Is that because I wasn't right or because it wasn't right? Okay, I think that should be that. I can see where it should be, where it needs to be. Might just need to aim a little bit. No, maybe not. Right, I'm going to pause the video, have a look and see what I've not got quite right. Shouldn't matter which way round that goes, so I'll see what I can do, and when I've got it figured out, I'll tell you what was wrong. Right, yes, sorted. The problem was the support post, the very first part that I put in, the hole in it wasn't quite in the centre. It was just off to one side, very marginally, not really noticeable until I've been playing around with it. So I've actually taken it out and turned it round, and it still wasn't quite lined up right, but I've been able to, manoeuvre the screw and get it in just the right place. So I've put that in, I've tightened down, I think I tightened down. Yes, I've tightened down all of the screws. Before you tighten down all the screws, you do need to make sure that the switch is in the correct position, because it doesn't, once it's tight, it won't go beyond, I say, that small amount of turning because of the pin being in the plastic bits. So you've got it turned on there and off there, and I've just noticed that one of the bulbs has obviously slipped out as I've been playing around. So I'm going to take that apart again and put that back where it should be. Actually, I'm going to try and do it through the front. Might be able to get to that from there. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, I've nudged that. No, I need to get from behind it. So yeah, there we go. I'll do that, and then I'll come back, and then we'll continue the rest of the build. Right, that's all tidied up and sorted out now, and the eyes are not quite the same brightness each, but they're close enough that I'm pretty sure it's going to be okay once the lenses are all in place. Not many parts left. The next bit is using an EP screw, of which there are two. So that will go in there. That's holding the battery cover in place. There we go. It does say put the battery in there, making sure the orientation. There we go. Yeah. Fix it in place with an EP screw. I thought there'd be a bit where it told us about the battery, but I couldn't see it for looking. So there we have that. Just the one screw, so everything's lined up properly. That's all in place as it should be. The battery's in place and out the way. This bit is just magnetic, which has got a little tab there, which obviously needs to line up with the little tab there. Otherwise it doesn't quite fit in place, and that points like that. So with that in the same orientation, you get the glowy eyes, and when it's off, you don't. That's that. Right, 4 more bits, or well, that bit and 3 other bits to do. Obviously the face mask. We've got the little clip and the visor, EM and EM. So we've got, looks like we've got 3 extra EM screws, but we did have quite a lot. So let's get the visor in place. Obviously that will only go one way round. That fits in there, and then the screw holds that in place. Like that. And the final one holds in place the little clip piece. Which way around? Not that way around, it's got to be that way around. That's the little tongue that holds the bottom of it in place, where the top holds it in place with a magnet. So there we have that. So that will locate into the bottom bit down there, and then that sits just like that. Yeah, there we go. And we have the Ironman, and I'll turn his lights on. There we go, glowy eyes. Yeah, one is a bit brighter than the other. I might have to play around and move that backwards a bit so it's not quite so bold. But all in all, that's a good way of putting it all together, hiding the switch so you can't actually tell that it's a switch, and hiding getting into the battery, which is easy to do. You just need to undo a quick screw on there and you're away. That doesn't look, they could have made that, I don't know, it would have to be his face, wouldn't it? Because ordinarily they'd be like, yeah, the best they can do with the engineering at hand. But there we have issue 1 complete. I'm happy with that. That's worked well. It's gone together well. A couple of little nibbles, but nothing too major, nothing to worry about really. And that looks pretty damn good. It feels good as well. It's got a lot of weight to it. It's very shiny. And yeah, as a build going forwards, I'm very happy with that. So thank you for joining me for the introductory issue. So we've got 1 each of those 3 and 3 of those spare. I don't know if they're assuming because there are a lot of them you're going to lose them, or I don't know, but there we go. Yes, so that's that. I shall play around with the eyes and tidy them up a little bit. I'll show you how that works out next time when I'm back for issue 2 with his foot. Not quite as nice as the shiny head, but it, you know, he needs feet. So thank you all. Stick around for the next issue, as I've coming soon. And thanks for watching. Bye bye for now.